Okay, in today's video, we're going to be going over some very important terms that you should be aware of for simple harmonic motion. That includes, but is not limited to, amplitude, period, and frequency. Now, before we get started with all that great stuff, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Step by Step Science. Get all my excellent physics, chemistry, and math videos. When I look at my YouTube analytics, I see that more than 90% of the people, that's right, more than 90% of the people who watch my videos have not subscribed. Please subscribe. Click the notifications bell. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. And don't forget to do all those things and then share this video. Please support my channel, Step by Step Science. In addition to that, I have made a bunch of other teaching and learning materials available to you. You can find that at my Teachers Pay Teachers website. The link is in the description below. Whether you're looking for practice problems, online labs, examples with answers, notes, puzzles, all that stuff is available. Once again, the link is in the description below. And of course, I've made a bunch of other videos for simple harmonic motion, and you can link to those in the upper right-hand corner of this video, including the next video in the series where we're going to be writing the equations for simple harmonic motion. Don't miss it. It's going to be amazing. But this video, we're going to be talking about amplitude, period, and frequency. And this is the situation that we have. We have a mass attached to a spring. The other end of the spring is attached to a wall. There's no friction between the mass and the surface right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the spring, which is at the equilibrium position where x, the displacement, is equal to 0 meters. And we're going to extend the spring to position number 1. And when we extend the spring to its maximum position, that's what we call the amplitude. The amplitude is the magnitude of the maximum displacement. And then if we release the mass, there's going to be a force from the spring, and the mass is going to oscillate back and forth between position 1 and position 2. And we said the amplitude is the maximum displacement, and that is the amplitude. It's the magnitude of the maximum displacement. All right, got that? Okay, next thing is a cycle. What is a cycle? A cycle is one complete back and forth motion. So if we're going to say this is the starting point, then the mass is going to go in and back, and that's one cycle. If we say this is the starting point, it could go in and back and in, and that would be one cycle. Or if we start here when it's compressed, then we could say out and back, and that is one complete cycle. One cycle is one complete back and forth motion. It starts in one place and comes back to the same place like that. Okay, now the period. The period has the symbol T, the abbreviation T. It's the time, like capital T, time, to complete one cycle. How much time does it take for that mass to go in and back? That would be the period. The period is the time to complete one cycle. And then the frequency is the number of cycles that it would complete in 1 second. All right, so we have the period and we have the frequency, and the period and the frequency, they have a very special relationship. They are inversely proportional to each other because the period is equal to 1 over the frequency, the period being measured in seconds, and the frequency, therefore, is 1 over the period. They're inversely proportional to each other, and the frequency is measured in hertz, which has the abbreviation capital HZ. Okay, so those are important terms that you should understand for simple harmonic motion. That's amplitude, cycle, period, and frequency. Now let's talk about how we graph simple harmonic motion, okay, because this is really good. You can see we talked about if we extend the spring, the mass is going to oscillate back and forth between position 1 and position 2, and each time it's, of course, going to go through the equilibrium position. This is the equilibrium position when the displacement is 0. Okay, now we can represent that motion on a graph over time, and this is the graph that we're going to use. And we're going to put the time on the x-axis, the time measured in seconds on the x-axis. Of course, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Now, you might think that's a little odd. Why do we put the time when this thing is basically moving back and forth in the x direction? Okay, first positive and then negative. Well, we usually always, most of the time, always put time on the x-axis. That means we're going to put the displacement, the distance for the displacement, on the y-axis. We're going to show this back and forth motion, not on the x-axis because we have time on the axis. We're going to show that on the y-axis. And it's going to move from the equilibrium position to the amplitude back through the equilibrium position, and then to the negative amplitude, and then back through the equilibrium position, and then out and back like this. So really you could think of the mass as oscillating back and forth along this y-axis. And then we add the dimension for time, and then we're going to stretch that graph over time in this direction. All right. Now we have it at the equilibrium position, but usually in order to get it moving, we got to stretch it out and extend the spring out here to the amplitude, the magnitude of the greatest displacement. So we're going to start time here. Time is 0. When we have that mass at the amplitude, okay, the point of maximum extension, and therefore we're going to start here, and then we're going to let it oscillate back and forth. So we start here, and then it moves towards the equilibrium position, and we show that on here by starting here, and we go back over time to the equilibrium position, and that's a quarter of a cycle. We started here at position 1, we go through the equilibrium position, and then the mass is of course going to continue over here to position number 2, and that is going to be the back at this amplitude. So you can see that's half a cycle. We've started at the amplitude, okay, the point of maximum displacement through the equilibrium position, and then the point of maximum compression. So we started here, and now we're here. Now we're going to go back in the other direction over the other half of the cycle, back through the equilibrium position, and then to the point of maximum displacement. Okay, so that is considered to be one cycle, and that's how we would show one cycle on that graph, just like that. Now, if we allow it to oscillate back and forth, then it's going to continue that motion over time, and it's going to create that same pattern, which you might recognize from a cosine curve. Okay, and again, in the next video, I'll be showing you how to write the equations for simple harmonic motion, but we're just going to cover the important parts of this graph right now. And so the top of the graph, okay, we're going to call the crest. That's the crest. And then the bottom of the graph, we're going to call the trough, like that. So this is the maximum, and this is the minimum. Usually usually crest and trough, sometimes hill and valley, but I like to call crest and trough just like that. Okay, now we have the amplitude. The amplitude is measured from the equilibrium position to the crest, or from the equilibrium position to the trough, just like that. Okay, it's not the total distance across, it's always from the equilibrium position. That's how we measure the amplitude. Okay, it's the magnitude of the maximum displacement from the equilibrium position. Then, of course, we have the period. Now, on this graph, we have time on this period. And the period is the time to complete one cycle. From where it starts, it goes back to the same place. So here we have our maximum displacement, and then we have our maximum compression, and then we come back to our maximum displacement. So this is the period right here, and the period in this case is 2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds to complete one cycle. And you can also measure the period from trough to trough. Sometimes we say crest to crest, sometimes we say trough to trough, and you can also measure it from equilibrium position to equilibrium position. You have to remember, though, that here it's moving out towards the maximum, here it's moving in towards the minimum, and we want to measure when it's the same place when it's going back out towards the maximum, like that. I can see here from this point it's increasing, and from this point it's decreasing, so I don't want that. I want to go back to where it's increasing again. Okay, so that's how you measure the amplitude and the period. All right, now let's just look. We have the period here is 2 seconds. So we can say over here the period, the time is 2 seconds. And let's just calculate the frequency. The frequency is 1 over the period. That means the frequency is 1 over 2, and that means the frequency is 0.5 hertz. That means it completes 0.5 cycles in 1 second. And that makes sense because it takes 2 seconds for a whole cycle, just like that. Okay, so there you go. That's a brief introduction to the period, the frequency, the cycle, and the amplitude. Okay, hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to do all of the following 5 things. Please subscribe to my channel, get all my excellent physics, chemistry, and math videos. Click the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a nice positive comment in the comment section below. And don't forget, that's right, sharing is caring. Share this video with all of your friends. Show them just how much you care. And watch the next video. We're going to talk about writing equations for simple harmonic motion. Don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.